Hey there, sales champions, and welcome back to Blackwood's Academy Sales Tip of the Day. Today, we're going to be diving into something that every salesperson needs to master: how to build a solid sales pipeline that never runs dry. Well, why? Well, because it's healthy. A healthy, full pipeline is what keeps your deals, flowing in and your stress levels low. If you know you always got something in the works, you're never gonna have those really like big dry spells or cold streaks or whatever you want to call them, or have that panic when you look at a week and you got nothing in the pipeline. So, without a solid pipeline, you're either going to be panicking to hit your numbers or you're stuck waiting for a miracle. So, in this video, I'm going to walk you through how to build and maintain a pipeline that delivers consistent results. So, let's get into it and start off on the right foot. Now, why sales pipeline is your lifeline? Well, first let's just look at like a sales pipeline is more than just a fancy term. I know we hear this a lot, how to optimize your pipeline, how to do this with your pipeline. This is what a pipeline should look like. This is the new type. Look, it's not just a fancy term or a fancy gimmick. It's your whole process for guiding a prospect from hello to sign here, please. So each stage, prospecting, qualifying, nurturing, closing, follow-up is critical. So here's the kicker. Most sales fall apart because reps either skip stages or don't have enough prospects moving through the pipeline. Yes, we've talked about it before. We want it not just to be a numbers game, but it also is to a certain extent. You gotta be fluid. So your goal is to ensure that there's always something in every stage, like a conveyor belt of opportunities. Then the power of having a diverse pipeline is absolutely look, it is absolutely must for your sales career to keep your stress levels low. So I'm not talking about just your team. I'm talking about that you have a variety in your prospects. You need a mix of short-term quick wins and long-term big ticket opportunities. Why? Because relying on one type of client or deal is like walking a tightrope without a safety net. So, for example, target smaller companies for faster closures, smaller hierarchy of decision making, while nurturing larger enterprises that take longer time to bring that big reward. This balance will ensure that you're always closing deals while also planting seeds for that future growth and that massive opportunity that's going to come one day and give you that big fat bonus check. So, how to keep your pipeline full? Well, let's get tactical here. The top three tips for keeping your pipeline overflowing. Daily prospecting. This is a non-negotiable. At least 30 day, dedicate at least 30 minutes. I would say an hour, every day for prospecting. Whether it's cold calling, LinkedIn outreach, or email campaigns, consistency is key. You gotta feed the top of the pipeline. Follow up like a boss. Get 80%, get 80% of all sales like come through follow up, But look, like we discussed in other, videos, most reps, most salespeople will quit after the first or second attempt trying to get that quick win. Don't make that mistake, follow up on calls, emails, even LinkedIn messages. Keep them, keep the variety and consistency at a high. Revisit old leads. Prospects who said no 6 months ago might be say yes today. You never know. So go around and get them back, check them out, give them a quick call. As long as you're not calling them every week, you're not going to be in a nuisance. So if you're not doing these three things, you're leaving money on the table, period. So tools to manage your pipeline. Well, look, there are plenty of tools. You can use HubSpot, Salesforce, and managing a pipeline can get messy. So we luckily have these tools available. I've used Pipedrive, Salesforce, HubSpot, or, look, if you don't have any of those, even a simple spreadsheet will do. At least it will, keep you up on track. You can have Trello and, just Excel. Excel for the calls and notes, and then you can have Trello to move them through the stage flows to where they're at. The goal is to keep everything organized so nothing is slipping through the crack. And look, here's a pro tip: categorize your leads. I like to divide mine into three buckets: hot leads, warm leads, cold leads. This helps me focus on my, where my time matters and where it's the most efficient. It's one of those things that we talked about before. 80% of your revenue is going to come from 20% of your clients, and you don't want to be wasting your time on those that are not going to be paying out. So keep the hot leads top next to the warm leads, and if there's a cold lead, forget it. Let it either slide or just don't spend too much time on it. The ideal follow-up timeline, we've gone through this, but I'll touch on it real quick. Immediately after the call, send a recap email. Thank them for their time. They'll have your email, they'll have your phone number, all that kind of stuff. Then I would say 2 to 3 days later, you make the first, follow-up call. Keep it brief, add some value as we talked about. Second follow-up call, week later, address questions and concerns, and then touch base every 3 weeks to stay visible but not annoying. Remember, consistency beats frequency, but you want to be coming, with value at every point. You want to stay on the radar without becoming a nuisance, without becoming that boring ass sales guy that keeps calling them. Action steps for today. So, what can you do right now? Well, look, you should be looking at, like I said, prospecting 1 hour a day. That, depending on what industry you're in and how many meetings you book, that could be one, that could be four. It's just hard to say. Whether you're doing it on LinkedIn referrals or existing network, just get those names in the top of the pipeline. Schedule follow-up calls with at least 3 old leads. Go back to those maybes, go back to even some of those no's that were still kind of interested. And just, like I said, block off 1 hour for just pure prospecting. Make it a non-negotiable habit like brushing your teeth. So these small steps done consistently will transform your pipeline and your result. And, this is what it is. It's all about the daily action steps every day, again and again and again. So, all right, look, this has, been great. So we're gonna, say good today, but this is the tip for the day. And if you found it helpful, smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, turn on the notification so you never miss a video. And if you're ready to take your skills to the next level, check out my Udemy course. It's packed with actionable strategies. You'll crush your sales goals. Go fill those pipelines up, and I promise you'll thank me later. So I'll see you guys again tomorrow for another sales tip, and I bid you adieu.